Welcome to another episode of Family Gamer TV. I'm here with David Yarnton, General Manager of Nintendo UK, and we're at E3, and we've been hearing lots about the Wii U. So, how did you think the press conference went?
I think we had a lot of surprises for people when they looked at the lineup of support for Wii U. Third party was really strong. I think we're showing 23 different games here at the convention, and I think the great thing that people were surprised about was the variety of games, from our classic Nintendo style games to some of the third party, which are a little bit sort of more out there.
Yeah, and is that? I mean, how do you sort of manage that? Because seeing Nintendo on stage and then seeing a bit of blood splashed around sometimes in some games, it just makes you sort of think, oh, this is a bit different. Is there a tension in that? How do you handle that?
Well, I think what's happened is the third-party developers, when they've had an opportunity to be given dev kits for the Wii U, have seen what the capabilities are and the experience that they can give to their customers with the types of gameplay that you just couldn't get anywhere else. With having the extra screen and the control pad, really the experience will be totally different. And I think that's part of the whole beauty about the Wii U. Is for different people will get different experiences.
Yeah, so that's like you're saying, that's a big feature. We were just playing Luigi's. What was it?
Luigi's Mansion.
Yes, and in that game, one of you holds the Wii U controller, and you can see everything. You see all the other players, and you're playing as the ghost. And then 4 other people with Wii remotes then control those little Luigi characters and have to try and escape. And I like that where you have different roles of different players. It seems to match like real world sports. You have a catcher or a thrower. You don't all do the same thing or hold the same thing. Was that quite key in?
Well, I think one of the things we've always with Nintendo has been really important to us, and when we launched Wii, going back a few years, is the social aspects of gaming to us are really important, and with the motion control, it got people together playing, and it was also watching it as a visible thing of people seeing people having fun makes a big difference, and then same with Wii U, but then people playing together. But having actually different experiences. So as you said, the person with the control pad and the screen is having a completely different experience to the other people with the remotes chasing them around. And then if you swap around, you can get that. So that's also part of what we're looking at as a social aspect. And I've noticed a lot of people when they're playing, the really good thing about it is they're talking and there's banter and chat going on, and which you don't always get.
Yeah, I noticed that was quite a key part of the message. It seems that there was a desire to move people away from their tablets as something they use on their own, and turn it into with Wii U something that they are sort of cooperating with in the same room. Is the tablet, say the iPad, do you think that is a competitor for Nintendo, or is that a different market?
I think one of the things with the Wii U and the controller pad is what opportunity it gives to someone at home. So, say for example, the kids at home and they're playing a game on the TV. Dad then comes home and says, well, hang on, I want to watch the news. They can actually continue playing the game on the controller pad. Dad can watch the news, so it's not where they have to hop up and go out of the room. They can still stay together, but doing different activities even. And I think some of it's the entertainment side of the whole product as well that's integrating not only video games but the TV, online, other social aspects that people can share experiences. So it's a completely different thing in comparison to anything else.
Yeah. Technology-wise, it seems like having a pad controller that would relate to a big screen is something that's been around for a little while, and other people like Apple and Sony have had that with their technology, but haven't delivered it in the same way that you're delivering the Wii U. How does Nintendo do that differently?
I think Nintendo always does things differently in general, and to some extent. I think with our unique product, and it's something in the DNA, I think, of Nintendo when we're looking at. I mean, the main thing we're looking at when we do develop product is for people to have fun. That's sort of the business we're in. So to enhance that fun, we're looking at new ways of doing it. And say over the years, you can see many different products that we've developed that people have looked at and go, what? Yeah, that's a bit weird. And as I say, when Wii came out, everyone was really blown away by this totally left field. but then they got to understand, and everyone else followed them. And I think the same situation with Wii U, people didn't expect this to be the next step, or this is the direction to go. And we've taken all the good parts of Wii with the motion control and feedback and social sort of gaming and enhanced it to another level.
Yeah. And was there a moment when you were developing the Wii U where you considered maybe just making it a controller for the existing Wii rather than being something that you needed to have a new console for as well?
I think if we go back, our president, Mr. Iwata, when people asked about with Wii, the fact it wasn't HD, and part of the reason there was because when we looked at the statistics in the market, not everyone had HD TVs. They're only just coming in now. I think the household penetration of HD TVs is a lot higher. So therefore, with the Wii U being HD capable, I think we're lifting the whole gaming experience there as well. Not only with the control pad, but also with the graphics capabilities and all those sorts of areas to really take it to another level.
Part of that, because I wasn't expecting it to be tied with Wii Fit, and so part of the press conference was an element where you talked about how it would be used in conjunction. And I was also surprised how many Wii Fits have been sold, because I know quite a few people who've got them, but maybe don't use them. So do you think the Wii U will be a way to reinvigorate the use of those Wii Fits that maybe are tucked under sofas at the moment?
I mean, with the Wii Fit, and we got, as you say, there's a lot being sold and a lot still being used, and we know that they're used in places that we didn't expect. You know, a lot of hospitals and physiotherapy areas are using Wii Fits. We haven't actually shown it on the floor, but we have an activity meter that will come with when you get the Wii U Fit. You have an activity meter which you'll actually be able to carry with you. Will measure your physical activity during the day, that you'll then be able to download it, so you can go from just being at home static using the Wii Fit there to actually whilst you're out and about, things you're doing, and you can take it all integrated together. And there's some very much, when I say enhanced experiences that we can give now with the Wii U, with the extra control pad, and watching some of the people using it, they're doing exercise and they don't realise it because, say, it just makes it completely fun.
So another game mentioned at the press conference was Lego City Undercover, which looked really interesting. And it seemed to take those classic Lego games that people love, but move it into like an open world and use lots of Wii U features. Is there much you can say about that?
I've seen the game and looked at it, and I think one of the great things about it, and I think you mentioned being an open world, is there's so much you can explore and around. And part of the whole, with the story being undercover, means the character will change and into different. Character. The hero can change into different characters. So if he needs to be a fireman or he needs to be a builder, and in some instances he could be a robber because he needs to get into somewhere. And so it gives a lot of, as I say, opens up a lot of possibilities and I say a huge world to explore, and it's got quite a few as well Nintendo quirks in there. But it looks really good. It's one of the most beautiful looking games I've seen for a long time. Yeah,
and I think it's quite a clever idea to sort of for them to step away from always being tied to a franchise or a brand, whether it's Batman or Indiana Jones, and actually have something that's just Lego. Because then it doesn't matter if you do or don't like a particular movie. I think everyone's going to connect to it.
The Lego series of games have always done very well on Nintendo platforms, and it's been actually from our side of from the Nintendo platform has been where they've had their most success. So it really makes sense, and it's a great marriage between, I think, the two companies to have this product out there.
And so how did the Lego on the Wii U game come about? Is that something that is it entirely a third party, or do you have a hand in?
We've obviously, because launching with Wii U, we help all of our developers with their. We've taken a real special interest in this particular game because, say, it looks so good and it really suits, I think, our format. So, without complicating things for people, we have different terminologies. If it's a title in a game we produce ourselves and develop, we call it first-party title. If it's another company develops it and then produces it, it's called third-party. With the Lego City, we're sort of in between, and we almost call it a second party. So being developed externally, but we'll be looking after a lot of the aspects of it. Yeah.
And there's also a 3DS game we should mention as well, isn't there?
It's Lego City Undercover, obviously because of the technical differences between a handheld game and a home console. There's it's the same name, but there's obviously different gameplay in it.
Yeah, and that's similar to the classic sort of Lego video games.
Yeah.
The portable versions are different to the console ones.
There's so much to show on Wii U, but with 3DS there are some great games come up, and it's not only with the games, it's also the functionality that we've been improving over the time. Where when we launched it, a lot of the online side of it wasn't necessarily available there.
Yeah.
We've now got free Wi-Fi in the UK where with the cloud, where people, if they've got a 3DS, can use that. We've got Euro Sports clips they can download. We've got digital games they can download.
And there's the messaging app that I know a lot of TV
Letterbox
really use. And I like the crossover that it seemed there was a similar functionality in the Mii universe, where you saw the little pictures popping up in a similar way to when they pop up on the letterbox on the 3DS. So was that a sort of crossover? I
mean, that's, I think, this whole sort of concept between the two of being able to communicate with friends and share experiences. We found with Letterbox has been really, the feedback's been really positive. So we take some of those learnings as well and use them with Wii U. And over time, it'll all hopefully integrate in some way.
And so, just talking a bit about the controller itself, is there a particular feature you think really makes the biggest difference if you had to pick one?
Obviously, I think the screen, having a screen there,
and it's an HD screen.
Yeah, it's got a lot of it's got a lot of other functionalities there that you find, but by having that screen there, that's what really gives you the opportunity to do other things and to have a different perspective on gaming. So I think that's to me the most important thing.
Yeah.
Since we showed it last, there's been some enhancements. It's different, little bit styling's been improved for comfort of holding, and there's a few functionalities as well that we've added.
Yeah, and was size an issue? I mean, thinking of younger players, so you obviously have to cater for quite a range of hand sizes. Is that something you sort of took into consideration when you were designing the controller?
I suppose I haven't got small hands, so I don't really notice. But I think a lot of people, no one's actually made any comment about whether the size or whether.
Yeah, I mean, I found it quite comfortable. And it's like a bar on the back, isn't it? So it rests on your fingers rather than having to grab it.
That's what some of the changes.
Little touches,
those little changes we made because we made it easier to hold with the support on the back of it. And as you say, the controllers on the shoulder and controllers on the bottom. I think, as I say, kids will be able to play it pretty easily, and I know sort of really young kids that are probably sometimes better at some of these things than older people like me.
Yeah, my kids are still teaching me some stuff as well. Yeah, and it's got the near field communication pad, isn't it? Is that right? So that you can in a similar way to Skylanders Portal of Power, that would bring in a character by putting a physical toy near the Portal of Power. I've seen a video where you put a toy near the Wii U controller, and that does a similar thing. I
mean, we've got that functionality built in there, obviously, but we haven't actually really announced anything in detail on that area. But it's obviously there for
the future.
Yeah.
And has it been dated? The launch date?
No, this year, 2012.
Yeah, I guess we're not got a price yet.
No.
So I think that's going to be key, isn't it, in getting people over to the new, a whole new system.
I think the important thing is when you look at the product, is the functionality and the various features that it has to give great value as far as an entertainment product. So it's not just enhanced video games, it's also all the other functionalities it have of being able to browse the internet, being able to communicate, look up Facebook, to be able to use it as actually a TV remote as well.
That's
so
a nice touch.
you can really a lot more things to it. So I think the value will be fantastic.
Great. Yeah, super. Well, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
That's all we've got time for on this episode of Family Gamer TV, but we'll be back again soon.